right now. Following will be Aadyaa, who will be explaining you the vision of our project and the first initiative that will be taken. And finally, Viet An will be presenting the other two initiatives and concluding our presentation. Yeah. So moving on, by saying culture, what I mean is the set of values or the beliefs that one has due to belonging to a particular race or country or background. So we live in a culturally diverse environment, but according to a survey that we did, we found that Temasikians actually find that the segregation between cultures is actually quite serious, because most of the votes were for the degree of 4 or 5, considering how serious is the segregation between different cultures. Moving on, so we asked around and we found out that the most popular reasons were that there is a lack of understanding of each other's culture, and there is a cultural difference, and some of the personal reasons such as shyness or fear of being judged, which these were the most popular reasons as why is this happening. So moving on, the committees or the CCAs that already exist, they are actually not enough, because we found out that some reasons are that they do not specifically concentrate or focus on cultural diversity, and some of the events are just have one-off impact and they do not have a long-term impact, or they do not sustain for long. This is also suggested by the survey, where we asked students about effectiveness of current measures. So most of the students felt that there is still some need of new measures so as to bring different cultures together and make them interact with each other and make them understand each other. The reason...
What is the exact question that you asked for this particular?
Sorry, we asked that how much do you feel are the current measures effective in for having cultural... Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 5, how much do you feel are the current measures effective to bond different cultures?
So 1 is like least effective and not sufficient, then 5 is like most effective. So most of the responses.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether the context, is clear enough for the participants to.
Yeah. So for presentation purpose, we just presented a short question, but we actually had an elaborative question for them.
And who are these people who have responded? Are they from different?
From Temasek Hall. Yeah, so we sent out the survey questions on the various groups, like across CCAs and block committee and all. So yeah, like around 80 to 90 people responded. So these are the percentages actually.
It's not just segregated. Concentrated on a particular block or particular groups, right?
It's across the world. Yeah, and in fact, like we actually have the data on how many different religions or how many different background people responded. So we have international students who have been staying in Singapore for less than 2 years, more than 2 years, and the local students. Yeah, so it's a mix of all of them. So moving on. The reason that this actually exists is because the initiatives that there are actually either one-off or not sustained and do not stay there for longer, and the impact is actually not sustained also. So it is maybe just one event like an amazing race or something, but it doesn't make them remind them continuously about the difference in culture and how they should go on understanding each other. Yeah, and therefore we propose to introduce the project or formation of a committee under this project, Bridge the Gap, which will take initiatives to bring these different cultures together. Yeah. So now I'll be passing on the time to Aadyaa to present her part. Yeah. Thank you.
So now that we've identified what the problem is, what can we do to rectify it? By introducing initiatives for greater exposure to different cultures and providing targeted platforms for greater intercultural interactions, we believe that we can create an atmosphere of greater understanding and appreciations for the different cultures in Temasek Hall. So, our 3 initiatives, include weekly traditional sports sessions, celebrations of cultural festivals, and an amazing food race. Also in our survey, we asked the respondents which initiative they would like to see in our hall. So we can see that traditional sports was the most popular one. So we're going to conduct weekly sessions of a traditional sport, and this will be open to all residents of the hall. And for 6 weeks, we'll be teaching a new sport throughout the year. So we'll have 4 instructional periods in which we'll be covering different sports. So for the first instructional period, we will be covering an Indian cultural sport, Kho-Kho. And for the second one, we'll be covering Chinese chess. And for the third, we'll be covering Malay cultural sport, or Konda-Kondi. And for the fourth instruction period, we will be asking the participants via a survey if they would like to repeat any of the sports they've already learned, or if they would like to learn a new one altogether. So, who's going to teach the sports? We'll be asking residents in the hall itself if any one of them knows how to play these sports and would like to teach the residents. So they would probably prepare lessons and teach the participants hands-on in the training sessions. And they would and to understand more about the culture, they would also perhaps explain where the sport comes from, what's the significance of the sport in the culture, so the participants can gain a better insight into the history of the game and why it's played. So our budget would cover the following aspects. We would be requiring sporting equipment for different sports, and if required, we'll be booking venues for different sports again. If we don't find any volunteers in the hall, we'll be contacting a professional PE teacher to help teach the participants instead. So we might require hiring costs. And for safety, we will be taking care of the first aid kits too. So our survey showed the need for bridging this cultural gap. But how will playing cultural sports help? I think that learning and interacting with each other during these sports sessions will spark the curiosity in the residents to learn more about where the game comes from. So there'll be conversations about their own culture, and we would also encourage them to go for suppers after training, so they can interact more after the sessions. So I think it'll be a good stepping stone or a conversation starter basically to ignite more interaction between the different cultures. Yeah. So I'll be passing my time over to Viet An.
Okay, so the second initiative as part of our 3-initiative package is actually to conduct, or rather to carry out festival celebrations on a regular basis. So festivals are undoubtedly a very essential element of any culture. So this is, as you can see, this is a Thaipusam festival of Hindu culture. Phuket, or Mid-Autumn Festival for Chinese, as well as Hari Raya Aidilfitri for Malay culture. So for this initiative, we'll be carrying out 3 to 4 celebrations per semester, and we'll make sure that different cultures are featured in each semester. And the way we do that is our committee will liaise with the block committee to liaise also with the residents from that particular culture to plan the celebration. So let's say if we are planning Chinese New Year celebration, we will liaise with people from Chinese culture. If we are planning for Hari Raya Puasa celebration, then we will liaise with people from Malay residents. So the benefits of this initiative is that the significance of festivals is that they give you a glance into the traditional way of life of different cultures, like the way they did things in the past, the origins of like these festivals, as well as the values that people from that particular hold on to. So through celebrating these festivals, residents will learn and they will have greater appreciation for the culture as well as understanding of the different cultures through the celebration of festivals. And these celebrations also provide very good opportunities for residents to interact with one another and also exchange their cultural knowledge. As we mentioned earlier, one of the main causes as to why there is a problem of segregation between people from different cultures is because there are not enough opportunities for them to interact with one another and actually talk about like what is my culture like, that sort of thing. Right? Most of the time, let's say if we gather, we only talk about things like cats or like hot life, that sort of thing, but we don't actually talk enough about like culture. So these festival celebrations actually provide that opportunity for us to gather and talk about like our cultural backgrounds and like learn more about one another. So to evaluate this initiative is actually we think that it is very highly feasible because of the casual style of and the small scale of the celebrations, and also it is not very logistically demanding. We only need let's say materials to decorate, to bring the atmosphere of the celebration, as well as maybe some food to like celebrate. And it's also among one of the most well-received initiatives as seen from the survey earlier. So about 2 out of 3 respondents actually selected this initiative as one of their top 3 choices. So the final initiative in our project is to carry out an amazing food race on a yearly basis. So this is just like any other amazing race, just that we integrate the element of food into this initiative, because Singapore is actually like a very cosmopolitan city. So we can actually see a lot of different cuisines like Thai cuisines, Indian cuisines, Singaporean cuisines, or like American. So that is a very good opportunity for us to explore, because food is also a very essential element of culture, just like festivals. Thanks. Alright, so this amazing food race will be conducted once every year, and unlike the festival celebrations, which will be carrying out in blocks, we'll hold this amazing food race like as an entire hall, in which we'll have stations located here, food courts, which are famous for like different cuisines. So like say Maxwell is famous for like Peranakan food, so that would be one of our stations. And then at the stations, the teams will complete cuisine-related tasks, like say blind tasting, to earn points, and also they will get to try the food at that particular station. And while the participants gather and bond over the food, the facilitators can also explain more about the origins of the dishes, as well as how the dishes have evolved over the years, to reveal more about the cultural elements behind the dishes.
Who will be the facilitators?
We'll have like recruiting notice for residents who would like.
So they must have the knowledge.
We could do prior research and like disseminate the information to the facilitators. Alright, so as similar to the previous initiative, this amazing food race will also allow for greater appreciation and understanding of different cultures through food, which is also one of the most popular thing among like, the survey respondents. And it will provide good opportunities for participants to interact with one another and also bond over good food. Similarly, this is also a very well-received initiative, as well as highly feasible. So with that, I'd like to end our presentation for this project. We'll now open it for questions.
Okay, for the first strategy you mentioned that you'll be conducting sports. As in, I think it's okay, but then like, because currently you have actually a lot of sports, and then and most of the days actually a few sports already overlap. So it's like you leave early for one, then you go a little late for another, just to have two sports. So how are you going to incorporate this additional activity into like all the other sports? Plus like there are actually all these sports are usually like for like IHG, and some people train like it's not really like recreation sports. It's more of like, so how you like incentivize like people to like go for this?
Okay, I guess because these are more like recreation sports, and they belong to different cultures, so they are not the very usual sports that we play or we like see around. And in fact, there are a lot of people like from different cultures who are actually not very willing to participate in all activities usually. So they are like reserved and they wouldn't participate. So we actually surveyed them as well, and they found that this could be a good initiative to take because like it is something very close to them. So they might have been playing this game before, and so they will probably join. So for them, it might not clash with other sports because like it is something which is close to them, and they might be very interested to teach about it or play it. And with that, like other local students might come in like to learn something new, to learn about new background, new culture and all. Yeah.
Another thing that we could also do is we could liaise with the sports captains to like find out about their training schedules and try to work out like a schedule that would fit in like everything together. So.
Currently the welfare committee of Temasek Hall has been planning like various initiatives to like integrate to have like people to accompany the international students to go like various places, like bring them to eat supper every month. I'm not very sure, but they have such initiatives. How will your initiative enhance or like will it overlap what is welfare committee's job scope already?
Okay. So being a part of the welfare committee, I'm a member of the welfare committee. So because I know that it is mostly targeted for the exchange students and not exactly international students. So like what we are targeting is every cultural group and not only exchange students. So in fact, other than that, we have activities mostly for different cultures. So maybe other Indians who are not on exchange, just international students who are here for full-time study, or some Chinese, Malay, and different people. Yeah. So it is more based on different cultures and not only on exchange students.
So for me, right, like how do you plan to involve the locals in your activities? Because like from my personal experience, like the foreign students tend to like be exclusive. Like we tend to want to include them, but they'll just not want to be included. So if they have activity, like what makes you sure that like we will want to join, so that because we're not very close to them in the first place. So yeah, it's not like we have friends to play with, so we may not be that keen on joining like say like foreign games like with them. Yeah, so how do you plan to reach out to like the locals to like join the international students for such events?
Actually, our surveys, among our survey respondents, right, most of them are actually locals, and like they show very like strong support for these initiatives. So I think that it might not actually be a very serious issue in the first place, and maybe you could see that sports or like this kind of activities are like very good opportunities to like break their ice, and because there are elements of sort of like forced interaction in like all of these initiatives. So like let's say for the Amazing Race, right, we could purposely group people such that there's a good mix of locals and like people from different cultural groups in like one group, that sort of thing. So in that way, they are sort of forced to interact with one another. Kind of thing.
Actually, my question is, okay, of course you have good initiatives here, but why can't the existing activities do the same thing? I mean, we can involve students from different countries, different culture to play the same sports, dance, involve in different kinds of groups, to integrate them, to let them interact. Why do we need to come up with additional initiatives?
I think because, as Rachiket said, it'd be something that's closer to them. So it's more of a focused approach on their culture. So I think because other committees they have like a broader scope, and this committee would only be organizing cultural events, but also specific culture. So if one of the events is supposed for a Malay festival, I think that because it's so focused, then there'll be more people will like pay more attention to the festival that's being celebrated at that point. So I think compared to the other committees that have like a broader horizon, I think our committee would like make a change simply because we're just focused on this one purpose.
Promoting various culture.
Yeah, because in fact, like the CCAs that already exist or the committees that already exist, they do not focus on cultural integration, and so the international students or maybe the other cultural students who are here, they cannot relate to it very nicely, and they may be just not participating in it. But if there is something that is very close to them which they can relate to, they might be more willing to participate. Yeah.
So I think there's no doubt that there are current initiatives that involve people from different cultural groups. Like let's say maybe soccer CCA can have like players from like different countries as well. But the thing about this kind of initiative is that they don't specifically talk enough about like the cultural backgrounds sort of thing. So let's say we can join the soccer team together, but what we are going to talk about in the soccer team is we're going to talk about sports, we're going to talk about soccer, but we don't talk about culture. So maybe we could bond over like our partnership in the team, but at the end of the day, we still don't know enough about like our backgrounds. I don't know what it's like in this country, that sort of thing. So what our current initiatives do is that we try to explicitly bring up this element of culture so that people can bond over that element.
Honestly, I like your project and what you are proposing. But just curious, in the first place, why do you? What is the motivation for you to come up with this event in the first place? Do you feel that being a minority or being a different culture, you feel that there's a need for you to express your culture or let the bigger community know?
Yeah. Okay. Honestly, because like we also just came new to Singapore. We are new to Singapore, and like looking around, there are people from different countries who do not talk very much, so there is communication barrier. Then there is this barrier when you don't understand whether you have a similar sense of humor as the local students. So maybe like if you crack a joke, it might be offensive to them or it might not be offensive to them. But you don't have that understanding, like you don't have that mutual understanding of a particular type of communication. So we need other platforms of interaction where this kind of interaction can come up and they can get to know more about each other. So as they know more about each other's values and background, they might start to understand about their constructs, their thought process, and so it will help more to interact and mingle around. Yeah.
So do you have any chance to talk to GCRC or someone to bring up this initiative?
We didn't talk to them yet, because we knew that we thought that they will be present during our presentation, and so we'll be just presenting it to them directly.
I see. Yeah, I see. Yeah, it's a pity that
you could ask them.
I should have.
Well, I mean, if you like the initiative, you can ask them to submit something to you.
Yeah. In fact, the whole affair directors in GCSE, she has the idea of to be more inclusive, right? Yeah, so branch off and talk about it.
I think this was the very question I asked them also. Why do you need this? I remember I asked them, and I said, why can't the other activities include culture? So that was what you asked them. But they specifically wanted this interaction. Anybody else have any question? Oh, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.